weekend. Disney is coming off of its D23 Expo in Anaheim, where it unveiled the latest additions to its parks and resorts, as well as its upcoming lineup of movies. Fans have a lot to look forward to. And here to recap the weekend and what lies ahead for the studio is Mark Douglas, founder and CEO of Steelhouse. Mark, always great to have you on the show. So much to talk about from D23. What was your #1 takeaway, do you think?
I think announcing Panthers for 2022, kind of a lot of planning going on in Disney right now. So that was pretty interesting. I think having the full cast on stage, you know, just like the energy coming out of Disney right now is just kind of incredible.
Why do you think Disney makes these announcements so far in advance? We know there's the Star Wars movies every couple of years, the Avatar movies just years ahead. Why go so early?
Well, I think it's built, they have an incredible fan base. I mean, they basically have created almost their own Comic-Con with D23. And, you know, they're basically just laying out for the fans that we're committed to you. We're going to kind of keep making incredible content, and we want you to be a part of this. And so it kind of makes it that it's not their customers anymore. The fans are a part of the content process almost.
And also all these Disney Plus announcements really ramping up attention and promotion for the streaming service, which, by the way, at $6.99 a month, with how much you're getting, is kind of a steal.
Yeah.
We now have all these Marvel shows that are going to be on there. There's going to be a Lizzie McGuire reboot that's going to be on there. What do you think the influence on the Expo, G23, will have on the subscriber numbers? Do you think the fact that they announced all this stuff here to all these Disney fanatics will add to the ramp up of the people going to this?
Yeah, so Disney's forecasting over 100 million subscribers starting November over a 36-month period, just basically kind of ramping up to Netflix levels. And I think, you know, a lot of that is going to come from this community. Then they have all the children's content. Then they have the bundle with ESPN. I mean, it's almost like there are two Disneys now. There's a traditional Disney, which is on a roll, and now there's a whole new Disney that's being layered on top of that Disney. And by the way, talking about investors, a lot of investors think it'll be valued like a new Disney. Like you'll just stack the current, $200 billion more on top of the current valuation for Disney.
Is it advantageous then for Disney now to be discussed in the same sentence as a Netflix more than maybe the traditional media players, given that now maybe it's more of a growth company again, to your point, kind of flipping the narrative?
Yeah, I absolutely think it is. I think that I've talked to a lot of equity investors, investment banks, and a lot of them think Disney's stock price is going to start to be indexed to the growth in subscribers. So you take the current stock price, that's the current value of the company. They're doing incredible with D23 and all the movies coming out of that. And you just literally start watching the subscribers grow and the stock price will grow like that. A lot of people think it's going to double over the next 2 years.
But even still, there's all this talk of a Netflix killer. And really, Disney might have been the only one that could have potentially been a Netflix killer just because they have the capital. But now, when you mentioned the ESPN bundle, they can add a Hulu bundle to this and a Disney Plus bundle at $6.99. It almost seems like they have the capabilities to actually really take on Netflix.
Well, yeah, but you need both. Like Netflix, Disney doesn't have the kind of comedy that Netflix has. It's just a different type of content. There's some overlap, but I always say Netflix fills the space when you're not watching your hit show. And with all sorts of other content, I just don't think you're going to see that on Disney. So I think Disney and Netflix are just kind of ruling over entertainment right now, and everyone else, including Apple, is like basically competing for crumbs that are left over.
What about generationally? I feel like for Disney Plus, there's obviously a lot of kid-friendly content, but then Baker mentioned the Lizzie McGuire reboot, tapping into our nostalgia as millennials as well, and then also content for older people as well. Do you think Disney has more of a 360 view on demographics than maybe a Netflix has?
They just have more of a hit-driven model. And by bringing this into Disney Plus, they're basically getting really good at monetizing it, right, like in the ways they traditionally did theme parks, movies, and now streaming. But I don't think they have an advantage in terms of the demographic. I think people are consuming content right now at an incredible rate, and they want it from everywhere they can get it, as long as a big library, which both Netflix and Disney have.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of big libraries, I do want to talk about some of the specific shows that were announced. I'm particularly excited that Kit Harington, obviously from Game of Thrones, is now going to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe through the Eternals. How much does that kind of star power really impact people maybe tuning into the idea idea of the Eternals for the first time, because you're going to see Jon Snow and Robb Stark together for the first time since Game of Thrones.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when you said what was my favorite, actually Jon Snow's going to be in the movies. Yeah. So I think that is a big deal. I think that, I mean, it's like, it's a reason to pay attention to that, you know, content. And so I think it is a big deal. They're placing great bets. They're just executing really well. They have Disney Plus. And we haven't even talked about ESPN. I mean, they own sports also.
Right.
No one's even talking about that right now. So, but I think it's great content. I think they're doing a really clever job of pulling the right people into these shows.
All right, amazing stuff. Mark Douglas is the founder and CEO of Steelhouse. Thank you so much for breaking it all down for us.
All right, thank you.
All right.